Welcome back to yet another Project Sekai general guide. We are approaching our first World Link event with rapid steps, so I thought it'd be high time to talk about what the World Link events will actually entail. This to get you prepared for what to expect and how to handle it when the first World Link event arrives in November. World Link events is a brand new form of events different from marathon events and cheerful carnivals. This is also our first new event type since cheerful carnivals were introduced into the game with the event Singing With You in a World Where Cherry Blossom Stands in April of 2022. Or April of 2021 on JP if you wanna be picky. But before we continue into the actual guide, I would like to request that you subscribe and leave a like. I make these videos in my spare time and they take a lot of time and dedication to get out to you guys. So doing the YouTube pleasantries really helps me grow. But with that, let's get back into the guide. The World Link events were described by the Colorful Palette teams as events to showcase the characters' capabilities to change their sekais through their dreams and emotions. The World Link events in more simpler terms are major events that once again progress each unit's story forward significantly enough to warp and transform the sekai they inhabit, furthering or changing the trajectory of each individual characters within that unit's goals and aspirations. This while also strengthening the unit's bond/cohesion to each other and more obviously to their sekai. This of course means that each unit will have their own individual World Link event centered around them. And this even includes the Virtual Singers. The first World Link event we will see is the N25 World Link event, Searching for a Reflection Beneath the Waters, which will run from the 8th of November to the 20th of November. This is followed by Vivid Bad Squad's event Break Down the Wall, which will run from January 9th to January 21st, 2025. After Vivid Bad Squad, it's Wonderland Showtime with the event Keep It Steady, Let's Aim for the Stars that will run from March 8th to March 20th. Our fourth event will be More Jump with the event Someday on the Stage Where Flowers Bloom, which will run from May 9th to May 21st. And the final main unit event will be Leonid with the event The Night Sky We Saw That Day, Someday in the Distant Future, which will run from July 17th to July 29th. And the event to round off the World Link events for the first year is the Virtual Singer one, which is their fourth ever focus event. And their event is called At the Beginning of Sekai with You, running from August 17th to August 29th. For all you keen-eyed viewers out there, you might have noticed that these events are slightly longer than our standard marathon and cheerful carnival events. This is due to one of the unique gameplay aspects that comes with the World Link events. Going forward, I will be using the Nightcore 25 event as the standard example. This is because the event is the first we will encounter, which is very soon at this point, and to keep the video consistent. So while I will be using Nightcore 25 as the standard example and be using the unit characters from Nightcore 25 when talking about the World Link event, the structure is still applicable to all further unit events, just with the different characters instead. So the increased event duration for World Link events comes from the fact that each World Link event is split into 4 chapters. And of course, Virtual Singers will be split into 6 chapters instead, but they are the outlier in this equation. There is of course 1 chapter for each member, hence why Virtual Singers have 6 chapters instead of 4. And in the case of the Nightcore 25 World Link event, we will start with Mafio's chapter between the 8th and the 11th of November. This is followed by Mizuki's chapter between the 11th and the 14th. After Mizuki, it's Enna's chapter from the 14th to the 17th of November. And finally, we end the event with Kanade's chapter, which will run from the 17th to the 20th, which is also the final day of the event. What makes this so special is that each chapter has its own team building, exchange shop, and ranking. But at the same time, there is also an overarching event ranking, exchange shop, and event team building. Another unique aspect of the World Link event is that the event story will be time-gated. During a normal marathon or cheerful carnival event, you can unlock all 8 parts of the event story within the first day if you play enough songs. This will not be the case for the World Link event, as the story is locked behind the actual chapters. So with each chapter you will be able to unlock 2 event story parts that focuses on the chapter character in question. There will also be an opening part that is instantly unlocked once the World Link event starts, as well as a finale that will unlock once you have read all of the story parts available during the World Link event. This means that each one of the original unit World Link events will have 10 story parts, which isn't unheard of, but it is quite rare within the game. So because of this limitation, it's important towards the end of the event to check so you have read all of the event story parts so you don't miss any rewards. And despite this change in how the event story is unlocked related to the chapter function of the World Link event, the rewards for reading the event story has not changed. So now you might be asking, but Milk, so each chapter and the overall event has its own event team building. How does that work? Seeing as we've never had anything requiring more than one team before. Well, let's get into how the event team building will work for World Link events. The World Link team / the overarching event team is the one you will be using during gameplay. This team is still the standard 5-man team we've come to grown used to during normal gameplay. And calculations for power, team skill, which decorations being used, etc. will stay the same as during standard event team building. How those concepts work in more detail is definitely a topic for another video. But while the team function as normal, how they are built is not. As World Link event, unlike our standard format events, do not have a focus attribute. Instead, World Link events are considered all attribute events, or rainbow events as they can also be called. This means that during World Link events you are incentivized to use different attributes on your cards. With 3 unique attributes in your team building, you get a 75% event bonus. So for example, you could have 2 cool cards, 2 pure cards, and 1 mysterious card. If you instead have 4 unique attributes, you get a 100% event bonus. And if you manage to cover all 5 different attributes in your event team building, it gives you a 125% event bonus. In practice though, you can see this as all 5 cards having a 25% event bonus, just like they would during a standard event. This is because of the World Link attribute clause for the team building. Of course, this means that cards do not get the standard 25% event bonus for hitting the right attribute that we see during standard marathon and cheerful carnival events, as the rainbow attribute system is specifically made to replace the focus attribute during World Link events. And character event bonus definitely isn't as confusing as the changes to attribute event bonus. But there's still some changes to character event bonus that we need to keep in mind while building our World Link event teams. And you'd think that the World Link events would function like the standard unit events in this question, having all unit-focused characters as well as the virtual singers with the unit tag in question be able to grant the 25% event bonus for being the correct character. But this is not the case for World Link events, as it's only the 4 unit members who can grant the character event bonus. This means that unlike a standard unit focus event or mixed event, you can only ever achieve 100% event bonus from the characters alone. So it is very important during each and every one of the World Link events that you try as hard as possible to fit in all 4 of the unit members. This means that if you fit all 4 of the unit members into the team, as well as make each and every card of a different attribute covering all 5 different attributes in the game, the maximum event bonus you can have on a team without mastery ranks is 225. This is of course slightly lower than our standard events, where the baseline event bonus for matching everything correctly is 250. But it is very important to try to hit all 4 of the unit members, as well as the 5 different attributes to hit that baseline 225 event bonus for each one of the World Link events. And of course, just to note that the World Link event for the Virtual Singers is the outlier in this equation, as all 6 of the Virtual Singers will grant the 25% event bonus for being the correct character, meaning that it is possible to have a 250 event bonus during the final World Link event for the Virtual Singers. But the Virtual Singer is as always the outlier and not the rule in this scenario. And these team building stipulations are reflected in the World Link Gacha. For this event, the Gacha characters are all of unique attributes. And just like a marathon or cheerful carnival event, the Gacha characters will grant an additional 20% event bonus for being the focus character of the event. This means that the Gacha cards are the standard 70% event bonus in a team where all 5 cards are of different attributes. And without the attribute bonus, the cards are a standard 45% event bonus, and like normal cards, which are 25% event bonus. To make at least one thing simple, the event bonus for mastery rank will stay the same as always. But of course, it will be following the post 3rd anniversary changes to event bonus from mastery ranks. This of course means that a 4-star still gains the 10% flat event bonus at M0. This makes 4 stars base 60% and the Gacha characters base 80% event bonus if there are 5 attributes in the team. Or baseline 35% event bonus for Nightcore 25 unit cards, or 55% for the Gacha focus cards if we exclude the 5 attribute bonus. And this of course means that the birthday cards will be granted the standard 5% bonus for Mastery Rank 0, making them 30% event bonus without 5 attributes, or 55% event bonus with 5 attributes counted. So in the case of World Link event team building, it will be much more of an individual experience. Each player has a unique set of cards for each unit that is different from any other player most likely, meaning that there isn't really a correct way to tell you how to build your event team for World Link events. But my tips for building the World Link event team is to try as hard as possible to hit the 5 different attributes for your 5 characters. But how you build the team with the 5 different attributes is much more up to you, as I don't know what cards you actually have. My suggestion is to look for which attribute you have the least amount of 4 stars, birthday cards or 3 stars in the given unit. So to take my own World Link event team building experience for the Nightcore 25 event, I only have a single 4-star card in the Happy attribute that has the Nightcore 25 unit tag. This is a Matthew card, meaning that Matthew will have to fill the role of the Happy attribute card. This is because you want to use as many 4-star cards or at least Happy birthday cards as humanly possible after the 3rd anniversary Mastery Rank event bonus changes. The 50% bonus you will be given from having 5 4-stars in your team is massive. So when possible, if you are a veteran player with a lot of different 4-star options, try to fill as much of your team as possible with 4-star characters. But for newer players who don't have as many 4-stars, try to use as many of the 4-stars as you actually own and then fill the rest of the team with 3-star cards. As 3-star cards are still quite strong and they are cheaper to upgrade to Mastery Rank 5, which will grant you a 55% event bonus if you have 5 different attributes during a World Link event. Back to the event team building at hand. Since I only have a happy attribute Mafyu, I can cross out both happy and Mafyu from my list, meaning that I can't use my mastery rank 2 pure attribute Mafyu. We also have a Ina cute card at mastery rank 2, and since she is mastery rank 2, she will be granting additional event bonus, so I'm going to slot her into the cute spot. This means that the Kanade cute card I got from 3rd anniversary would be overlapping with the cute attribute of Enna, and therefore I will not be using her despite her also having mastery rank 2. This is because I have a pure Kanade at mastery rank 2 that I can slot into the pure position. This leaves cool and mysterious for me, and I actually have a cool and a mysterious virtual singer cards that I could just slot in, but I only have a cool Mizuki, meaning that I will slot in the cool Mizuki, finishing the unit roster, and then slotting in my mysterious Luca as the final alternative. Of course, the event team building will look way different for you, especially if you might not be a veteran player like I am, who has a lot of different 4-star options. But this is the interesting thing with the World Link event team building, as it is much more of a puzzle actually trying to get the World Link roster to fit together. Especially if there is one attribute that is much weaker for you, such as happy for me when it comes to N25. Because of that card weakness for that certain attribute, I had to actually reshuffle my team, as I was originally intending to use my 2nd anniversary mastery rank 2 Mafyu, who is pure, and my 3rd anniversary mastery rank 2 Kanade, who is cute. But again, my biggest tips are use as many 4-stars, then birthday cards, and then finally 3-star cards to fill out your roster, and make sure you hit those 5 unique attributes so you get the 125 event bonus. But except for the changes in attribute bonus, this is true for most events following the 3rd anniversary mastery rank event bonus changes. So while the event team building is definitely different in certain ways, the overarching experience of building an event team is familiar to any veteran player despite the unique rule set. Instead, the truly unique and interesting aspect of World Link event team building comes from the chapter-specific teams. Currently, these are translated to support teams or support units by the fans, and you build one for each individual chapter. The page for building support teams will only be available during World Link events, and you can find them in a new submenu that is available from the normal team building menu. In this menu, you will be presented with 4 tabs, one for each chapter/character. And in each chapter, you will be presented with 12 empty slots. In here, the chapter character will grant a 5% event bonus for their own chapter, while other characters will not have any baseline event bonus in this menu. It is also very important to note that it's only the unit character as well as the unit virtual singers who are able to be slotted into the support teams. This means that during the N25 World Link event, it is only Mizuki, Mafyu, Enna, Kanade, and the virtual singers with the N25 tags that are allowed into the support team. And this stipulation also includes blank/unitless virtual singers, as they will only be available to be used for support teams during the virtual singer World Link event. And this stipulation does limit your options when it comes to building the support teams heavily. But on top of this, the cards will gain additional event bonuses through their talent level and mastery rank. So while it's only the chapter character who gets the character event bonus, all cards will gain additional bonuses through their mastery rank and talent level for this support team. Each card has a base bonus depending on rarity, with 4 stars granting 10%, birthday cards and anniversary cards granting 5%, and 3 2-star and 1-stars granting 3%, 2%, and 1% respectively, at Mastery Rank 0, Talent Level 1. On screen should be the chart that shows the event bonus depending on mastery rank and talent level. This chart might seem a bit daunting at first, as it is much more complicated than the standard event bonus chart, but I promise you it's not that difficult. This does mean though that depending on your card situation, there are cases where 4-star cards and birthday/anniversary cards might be stronger than cards from the chapter character. The general rule of thumb though, when we do get into the World Link event, is to fill the chapter support teams with as high of an event bonus as possible. This does mean that there is fringe cases where 4-star cards and birthday cards might be stronger than cards for the chapter character. This of course depends heavily on how much you have invested into 4-star and happy birthday cards that are outside of the chapter character. A basic example is that a 4-star card at mastery rank 5 will outpace a chapter character 3-star card at mastery rank 5 talent level 4. This is because a non-chapter character 4-star card at mastery rank 5 talent level 1 will grant 12.5% event bonus, while a fully upgraded chapter character 3-star card will grant an 11% event bonus. But the general rule of thumb while building the support team is just to fill your slots with as high of an event bonus as possible. You can even use the fill button and let the game pick out the cards with the highest event bonus, as the game is actually pretty good at sorting through the cards. And as a final note, you don't have to worry if you have a super upgraded 4-star card or birthday card. You can reuse cards across several chapters. So you don't have to pick and choose which chapter you should focus on if you have a few upgraded cards for that unit that outmatches the chapter character cards. But I will point out that there is one stipulation to this. You cannot slot in cards that you have in your event team into the support team as well, and vice versa. So cards can either be in the event team or in the support team. They cannot be in both places at the same time. And now you might be thinking, that's all fine and dandy, Milk, but what does the support teams actually do? It's clear that we get event bonus from them, but how do they affect our gameplay? And the support teams will not be affecting how talent and skills are calculated for the actual event team proper. The support teams are only a boost to the event bonus. The event bonus that you gain from your support teams will be added on top of the event bonus that you already have from your event team proper. So say for example that you have 225 event bonus for your event team, as well as 120 event bonus from your support team. This would result in a 345% event bonus for the entire event. But this leads us into another thing that is special with the World Link event. There are technically two forms of event bonus. I haven't mentioned this earlier as it hasn't been relevant to how you build your event teams and your support teams, but these support teams grant two different types of event bonus. The event bonus types are event bonus for event points and event bonus for event token gain. Event points is what's used in calculations for your tier. Basically, the more points you gain, the game calculates where you should land with that amount of points on the tiering bracket. While event tokens is of course what we use in the exchange shop, which we will talk about in a bit. The support teams actually grant these at different rates. The support teams will grant 100% of its event bonus towards the event points gained, as in the points you need to tier, while it will only grant 50% of the event bonus towards event tokens gained. This split between event points and event tokens does not apply to the event team proper, only the support team, which is partially why I did not mention it earlier. The event team proper will gain 100% of its event bonus towards both categories of event bonus. So this only applies to the support teams, but if we take the example again, where we have 225 event bonus from our proper event team and 120 event bonus from our support team, we will only gain 60% bonus towards our event tokens gained for the World Link event in question. This still means that we get the 345% event bonus towards our event points gained for the example chapter, but we will only gain 285% event bonus towards our event tokens gained. And while this affects how many event points and event tokens you gain, it's not something you actually need to keep track of, as the game will do that for you by calculating event points and event tokens by itself. But just know that the event bonus from the support teams will just be added to the event team's event bonus as a bonus. And it's split into event points and event tokens, where 100% of the event bonus from a support team will go towards event points and 50% will go towards event tokens gained. Now, when we've finally built both our event team and our support team, we can get into the rhythm gameplay of the World Link event. But the World Link event is actually nothing special, as co-op rooms will function like standard marathon events where everyone gets to pick a song and the lobby includes 5 people. And you can of course also play solo shows for a lower amount of rewards. And there has been no changes made to energy or power calculations for the World Link events. At the end of each song, you will gain event points and event tokens based on the standard event bonus calculation in ratio to the energy you spent on the song, as well if the lobby was co-op or not. Each World Link event have 5 different leaderboards/rankings, meaning that there are 5 different tiering brackets. There is the standard event tier, running the entire event and granting the standard post-3rd anniversary tier rewards. This includes the standard amount of crystals, skill up scores, and title. But at the same time, each chapter has its own ranking as well. The chapter rankings are obviously only available during the chapter's duration, and thus ranking only rewards a title, with the highest rank being tier 100 instead of the normal tier 100 bracket we see during standard events. The character chapter titles are called Seeker titles, and you should start preparing if there is a specific character you want the Seeker title for. This is because you need to be ready when the chapter starts, since the chapter duration is so short, tiering will be highly competitive, especially for more popular characters. You only have around 3 days for each character, meaning that it is a rush to get the most amount of points during any Seeker title tiering experience. And while in theory you should be earning 2 different event points since you are tiering on 2 different ladders at the same time, you will only ever be granted a single form of event point, being the chapter event point. This works since your event tier is all of your chapter event points combined. So each time you finish a song and gain points towards your chapter ranking, those points will also be added towards your event tier ranking. And you can, as always, see your event point total for the entire event in the leaderboards tab under the event ranking. This structure is also true for the event token, as you will only get one variant of event tokens, which is the current chapter's event token. Just like the tiering, there are 5 available exchange shops for the event, 1 for the overarching event and 1 for each one of the 4 chapters, or 6 in the case of the virtual singers. Like I already established, you will only get one type of event tokens, being the current chapter token. And obviously, the chapter event tokens are only available during the corresponding chapter. So it's very important you gather as many tokens as you need to get everything you want from the exchange shop before the chapter rolls over, as there is actually no way to get more chapter tokens once a chapter concludes. As for the shops themselves, all chapter exchange shops will be identical to the others, just that the contents of the shop will be tailored towards the character that is the focus during said chapter. And in each shop will be one character cover card for the chapter characters that will cost 20,000 tokens, 10 wish pieces that is available 5 times per chapter that cost 1,000 tokens per purchase, resulting in 10,000 tokens in total for buying all of them. 3 small cans that will cost 100 tokens each for 300 tokens in total. 25 intermediate practice scores for 100 tokens each, resulting in 2,500 tokens in total for all 25. 5 miracle gems that are available 5 times and cost 1,000 each, resulting in a 5,000 token price for the entire thing. 3 seeds for 1,000 each, resulting in 3,000 tokens per chapter. And 2 intermediate skill scores for 5,000 tokens each, resulting in 10,000 tokens for both of them. And finally, the brand new type of item added with the World Link event, the Bottle of Feeling. These items are specific for the chapter character in question, and there are 2 available in each chapter exchange shop. These cost 30,000 tokens each, resulting in a 60,000 token price to pick up both Bottles of Feelings for any one chapter character. But now you might be wondering, but Milk, what about the full-length event exchange shop? You said that you only get chapter tokens when playing songs, but you also mentioned that there are 5 different event exchange shops, one of which was for the full-length World Link event. What do we use in that event exchange shop if we don't get any tokens for it? And the full-length event exchange shop uses its own tokens that you can acquire by exchanging your chapter tokens for event tokens proper. You do this in the chapter exchange shop, and 1 chapter token will give you 1 event token, meaning it's a 1-to-1 transfer rate. But it is a one-way exchange between chapter and event tokens, meaning you have to be certain when exchanging your chapter tokens for event tokens that you have enough to get everything you want in the chapter exchange shop. But the question is, what can you actually get from the full-length World Link event exchange shop, seeing as a lot of the options we see during normal Marathon and Cheerful Carnival events exchange shops are available in the chapter exchange shop. In all World Link events but the Virtual Singer event at the Beginning of Sekai with you, there is a 2-star exchange shop card. In the Virtual Singer event specifically, there is no exchange shop card, and the standard 3-star card is absent from all 6 of the World Link events. And the cost of the 2-star card is the standard 5,000 event tokens. The other items in the exchange shop is the crystals, stamp card, music voucher, cloth, thread, coin, and wish drops we see during a standard marathon event. And these items are available with the standard amounts for the standard pricing that we see during any Cheerful Carnival or marathon event. The only difference from standard marathon events is that just like the Arkender events we saw earlier this year, the World Link events will not have the attribute charms or gems available in the exchange shop. So that leaves us with the everlasting question, what should you pick up from the World Link event shops? As what you should and shouldn't pick up is things that depend heavily on your account situation, how long you've been playing, and what your goals is with your account. But the list also mostly remains the same between things such as unit-focused event, Arc Enders, Cheerful Carnivals, and of course the World Link events. So repeating myself will just take a lot of time and doesn't really feel necessary, but of course I can give you some tips on how you should handle the World Link event shop. The most basic of tips is, as always, that you should pick up the items that you actually feel you need to achieve your goals within Project Sekai. Whether that be upgrading decorations, upgrading cards, or unlocking side stories, it doesn't matter. You should look towards what your account needs currently to further fulfill your current goals. Of course, there are a few handful of items that are considered valuable no matter your account state or how long you have been playing, such as the crystals, the energy cans, and especially the 2-star cards. My second tip is more aimed at the World Link events themselves. You should save your chapter event tokens for as long as possible until you've picked up everything you want out of the chapter exchange shop. This might seem a bit contradictory since I said that you should pick up the 2-star card and the crystals, who both come from the full event shop, not the chapter event shops. And while that is still true, the chapter exchange shops are on a tighter time constraint. This is of course since you can only earn chapter event tokens for the duration of the chapter, which is around 3 days for each chapter. And on top of that, exchanging chapter event tokens into the event exchange tokens is a one-way exchange, meaning that you cannot undo once you do it. Hence, it is very important that you save your chapter exchange tokens so you are sure that you can pick up everything, or at least most of the things that you want out of the chapter exchange shop. Finally, let's talk about the brand new type of item, the Bottle of Feelings. And in my opinion, this item is somewhere between the luxury options in the exchange shop and the options you should not pick up at all. The bottles are way overpriced for what they actually do, seeing as they have the exact same price as a cover card, who is already in the luxury item options for the exchange shop. On top of this, the Bottles of Feelings don't give you anything special as the cover cards do. They are only a single character rank point and nothing else. And a character rank point for 30,000 tokens is ludicrous when we consider that the chapter exchange shops and the chapter token gain is only available for around 3 days. Even with the boosted event bonus, it's not worth the amount of work you need to put in to pick up one bottle, let alone both of them. And even if you are a massive fan of the character, you cannot save the bottles in your inventory and also get the character rank point. Since with the 3rd anniversary they changed how the inventory works, so once you use an item and reach 0, the item will disappear out of your inventory as if it was never there. This means that you either have to pay 30,000 tokens to have something sit in your inventory as a decoration, or you only get a single character rank point for 30,000 tokens, which you can also pick up the cover card if you so wanted to instead. So I'm really hard pressed to actually give you a reason to pick up the Bottle of Feelings, even if they are cool in a lore and design aspect. They really just don't pull their weight for the price that they are. So I would only pick them up if you have tokens over because you are tiering for a Seeker title, or if you're a massive fan who has been doing a lot of grinding for a specific chapter. Otherwise, I would avoid them and instead go for the cover card or just more of the options out of the chapter exchange shop that are higher value. But aside from saving the chapter event tokens to pick up everything you want from each and every chapters, I don't think you should handle the World Link event exchange shop any differently than you would a marathon or cheerful carnival event. And this leaves us with what most people will consider the most important aspect of any event, the gacha. Before each World Link event goes live, there will be a unit support gacha. These gachas are made to help bolster your unit roster before the World Link event starts, so you have a strong team to get going with. These gachas, of course, only include cards from the unit in question. These gachas has the standard 3% chance for a 4-star, no pity bar, no rate up characters, no sparking, and using green stickers, meaning you can only get green permanent vouchers from the sticker exchange. These gachas are quite frankly a scam, and I highly advise against pulling from these gachas at all. The lack of focus characters, pity bar and standard gacha rates just make it worse than basically every other gacha in the game. It is legit better to wait for the World Link gacha proper instead. Of course, it's your crystals, your account, but you know, just look at it. Look at it! It is an awful deal, and I really advise against pulling from them when the World Link gachas are just a few days away. Which leads us to the actual World Link gachas, which is the highlight. These function like limited gachas, which means a 3% chance for a 4-star, no pity bar, and using the pink gacha stickers, meaning that you use the pink limited vouchers to spark, or you can pick up pink limited vouchers if you want to spark in the future. Each one of the gachas have new cards for all 4 of the unit members or 6 unit members for the Virtual Singer event. Each one of the cards in the World Link gachas will have different attributes, allowing for the attribute bonus to take effect more easily. This means that for each one of the original units, you will only need a single card in the remaining attribute if you get all 4 of the new World Link gacha cards to fill out the entire roster with the 5 attribute bonus, while in the Virtual Singer's case you will instead have to exclude one of the characters from your event team building. But what makes these gachas so special is the new World Link cards, as these cards are considered a new form of limited, which I usually refer to as semi-limited. The World Link cards does not come with a unique hairstyle like the normal limited cards do. Instead, they have a brand new card feature in the form of the 3D MV Another Cut feature. Just like hairstyles, these 3D MV Another Cut are unlocked at Mastery Rank 2 for the card and is a bit funky with how they work. When a World Link card at Mastery Rank 2 is placed at the front of the party, if you play the commission song for said World Link event with the 3D MV active, a special character cutscene will play during the song with said character as the focus. And it's worth pointing out that this is a short part of the video, not the entire 3D MV. The songs these will work for in order of World Link appearance is Twilight Light for Nightcore 25, Beyond the Way for Vivid Bad Squad, Sekai o Terasu Terad for Wonderland X Showtime, Motto for More Jump, Integral for Leonid. And finally, Virtual Singers did not get a new commissioned song, instead it applies to their 3rd anniversary commissioned song, I'm Mine. And of course, the cards does come with a new unique costume for each and every single card that is not removed. The reason I call these cards semi-limited is not only because they lack the hairstyle of a normal limited card though. They gain this status through their availability, as after their initial World Link event, these cards will only be available during unit-focused event gachas for the unit in question. This of course means that mixed event where the unit is present does not count. This is a new type of rarity of cards we haven't seen before, hence my nickname of semi-limited. So for example, if you skip the World Link event for Nightcore 25, but instead summon from events such as the Tone That Played That Day, Knowing the Unseen, or Reeling in the Light, you have a chance to get one of the 4 World Link event cards during those gachas if you get an off-banner card. But the World Link event cards would not be available during events such as Next to the Unchanging Warmth or Relaxed Tea Time, even if they are heavily Nightcore 25 dependent, they are still mixed events. So the World Link event cards are definitely a lot more limited, but they are also available a lot more often than proper limited event cards are. As a final addition, I do want to talk about the prospect of a rerun for any of the World Link event gachas, as I've seen people ask about it. As it currently stands, neither Sega or Colorful Palette has made any announcement that could indicate that the World Link event gachas would get reruns. Of course, it's still a possibility that the World Link gachas would get a rerun, especially seeing the introduction of the Recollection Festival gacha. It might be possible that the World Link gachas will get their own special rerun gacha type. But sharing my own view on the topic, I don't think this is the case. The World Link gachas are not officially limited gachas, even if they abide by limited gacha rules. The World Link event cards are, after all, available in the standard gacha pool in each and every following unit event after the World Link concludes. Meaning that these cards aren't unavailable like standard limited cards are, and therefore I don't really see a reason to introduce a new special type of gacha to rerun the World Link gachas within. It's also worth mentioning that we yet don't know the future of World Link gachas and World Link events as a whole, as we have not heard anything about new World Link events being released during year 4 of the Japanese server of Project Sekai. So I definitely wouldn't get my hopes up for a rerun of the World Link gachas proper, or a special type of gacha to rerun World Link cards within. So I would treat this as your first and final time to pull for these cards as focus cards. If you miss any of the cards pulling from the World Link event, or you're still on the fence if you want a set of World Link event cards, you can always hone in your crystal spending onto unit focused events, trying to get the cards from the standard gacha pool during those events. But as always, I request that you take my words with a pinch of salt, as Sega nor Colorful Palette has announced anything about World Link gachas rerunning, and therefore anything is theoretically still possible. As for the value of this gacha, I really think you should not go for any of the World Link gachas if you're not a hyper fan of a specific unit or really love a specific character's card, as the 3D MV feature is so niche in its use that it feels like a massive downgrade. While both hairstyles and 3D MVs Another Cut requires you to use 3D MVs to see them, hairstyles are available during all 3D MVs. Unlike the 3D MV Another Cut from World Link event cards that are only available during a specific song. The hairstyles will also be visible during the song end screen / song result screen. And the hairstyles can also be used during 3D MV viewing, where you don't actually play the song during the rhythm game portion, while the 3D MV Another Cut-in will still only be available during that commissioned song. Of course, I will not tell you not to pull from the gacha if you really adore the cards in the World Link gacha that is upcoming. But it's worth remembering that this works like a limited gacha, which means you have no guarantee of getting any 4-star cards, especially not on banner, until you spend 90,000 crystals, and even then you only get a single spark. I really do think that when they have the limited gacha rule set, the cards really need to hit a home run. And the 3D MV Another Cut doesn't really feel like it's worth the amount of investment it requires, especially seeing how important the World Link events are for each unit's story. I just feel like these cards are not really worth the price, especially not with how important they should be. They don't really have that oomph as a normal limited card often do. But once again, if you are a hyper fan or you really love a specific card for a character, I won't tell you not to go for the World Link gachas. The sentimental value in these cards from the story that's being told with the World Link events is actually a valid reason to go for them. But I really think that they could have done more with such important cards than doing the 3D MV Another Cut that feels very underwhelming and niche when you can actually get to use it. But that should cover everything you needed to know about the World Link events, so you should be fully prepared for us to dive into the first World Link event in November. I once again humbly request that you subscribe if this guide has helped you understand the World Link events better. Remember to ring the bell when you subscribe so you get notified when the World Link event before you summon episode lands, and while you're down there, share your opinions on the World Link events. Are you excited, or do you feel like the World Link events are overrated? I love to hear what you guys think. But for now, I think we have summarized the World Link event, so I will not keep you here any longer. Let's get out of here for now.